Konnichiwa everybody, welcome back. Hope everybody's alright. Life don't seem to get any less busy or crazy, does it? I don't know where the time's going. I've just got no time for anything. I'm just throwing together this pickups video really. I'm still way behind with pickups. I've probably got, I don't know, at least 40 games probably that I ain't, shown yet. But I ain't played most of them. I've just had no time whatsoever. I can't tell the last time I played a game really. Been flat out messing in the garage, all the jobs, people not very well looking after them. Crazy. Can't see it ending anytime soon, but it is what it is. We'll press on. But Christmas coming as well, that's not making life any easier. I haven't actually bought much stuff recently for myself, too busy selling stuff to pay for Christmas and what I've done in the garage, and it's just been manic. So anyway, pickups. This first one, this is just a thank you really, because this was a very kind gift from the fantastic Sean at Retro Games Revived. It's been a few weeks ago now he sent me this, so I'm sorry I ain't got round to showing this yet, Sean, but I wanted to make sure I included it before I did anything else. But yeah, Sean sent me this. What a great guy. If you haven't checked him out, go check him out. He ain't put a video up for a while, but great channel. I'm sure if you're watching me you're aware of him, but I'll put a link in the description to Sean's channel, Retro Games Revived. Go check him out, great lad. But anyway, he sent me this amazing item. As you can see, it's an Outrun PCB in effect, but it's actually, I don't know if you'd call it a homebrew, but basically somebody has put the Outrun ROM on a card that you can use in the back of a C64. So it's basically a cartridge version of the C64 Outrun, but with, it's got the cool detail of the car and the Outrun font on the top, as you can see. But it's just a bare card, but it's such a cool item, in red as well, obviously. I haven't actually got a 64. I did joke to Sean when he sent me this, is it worth buying a 64 to play it? Because I had actually looked at this item myself on eBay when I was building up my Outrun shrine a few months ago. I did actually look at this and I was very tempted, but I thought, well, I haven't got a 64, but I mean I have got versions I can't play for other consoles as well, to be fair. So, but anyway, I didn't end up buying it, but then Sean very wonderfully sent it to me, so I'm chuffed a bit with it. It's fitting fantastically on the shrine. An awesome addition. Cheers, Sean, you're a pal. Right, pickups. Going back to Outrun, by the way, on the C64, it gets hammered, but I don't think it's too bad, to be fair. I mean, it's not Outrun necessarily, but I don't think it's a bad little game. Right, so we've got a bit of a mixed bag here. I'll try and put some footage up if I can, but like I say, time's that precious. I'm not sure I'll be able to do it. Certainly not for all of them, but I will try and put it up for some if I can. We've got one Famicom game to start with. Bought this months ago, and it's called, I think it's called Roadman Cycle Race. A black cartridge. So it's a very cheap game. It's basically, as you can see, it's like road bike racing. If you remember, like Milk Race on the Specky, it's kind of like that, I suppose, but it's from a top-down perspective. So it kind of plays like Micro Machines, really. And it scrolls like Micro Machines. It's kind of like, I it's kind of like Thrash Rally on the Neo Geo. You know, it's a Famicom game. Don't forget that. But it's quite a good overhead racing game. I really do think it's pretty good. Like I said, it's dirt. I think it's less than a £5. I'm assuming that's Japanese only. I've never seen it on anything else. But it's not a bad little game, to be honest. I quite like it. And if you know what the actual milk race was, you get an added bonus point. Back in the 1980s, if you can remember that far back. Right. We've got a bunch of PS2 stuff now. Again, all these I've had months. Absolutely months. But I think I've played up. No, I think there's 2 I haven't played here. So anyway, the first one we got Fate Unlimited Codes, which is a Capcom one-on-one fighter. And I'm pretty sure it was Craig who put me onto this. He mentioned it, and then I stumbled across it. And you know, Capcom one-on-one fighter. What's not to like? Can't actually remember too much of what it was like because it's been so long since I played it. But I seem to remember it was quite good, and I don't think it was a fortune either. Fairly sure it's Jap exclusive again. Can't even remember if it looks 3D. I can't honestly remember. But anyway, Fate Unlimited Codes. Then next up we've got, now this was a fairly cheap game I think again, as I remember. And we've got Runabout 3. I did have this, the PAL version, but I sold the PAL one when I managed to track down the Japanese one, because it's like cheap as chips PAL. But the Japanese one's much more awkward to come across. So as soon as I got it, I offloaded the PAL version. Great games, Runabout games in my opinion. Very arcadey, just chasing around the city like checkpoints, doing little missions. Really, really good. Started on the PS1. I think that's possibly the best one actually. Not graphically obviously, but as a game I really liked the first one on the PlayStation. It's called Felony 1179, if you've not played it. Really, really good. Then there was Super Runabout on the Dreamcast, which was more of the same, but like I said, I didn't like it as much. And then this is obviously even better because it's on the PS2. Runabout 3. Now this one, I'd never heard of this, and I just randomly stumbled across it. Big fan of like arcade style golf games, and I picked up Street Golfer. At the time when I found this, like I said, I'd never seen it before. I've since found out there is a PAL version, because I think it was Eddie I saw, might have been the last Black Country Game Market, I saw him selling it, this PAL version. And that was the first time I'd seen the PAL version, so like I say, I thought this was Jap exclusive when I bought it. But really fun game, I like this. It's an arcade golf game, but it's not like on grass, as you know, on a golf course. It's like in the street, and the ball like ricochets off the road and off buildings, and really, really good. That's Street Golfer. I want to play that again because it was really good. I think it's quite cheap, PAL, as well, from what I remember when I found out it was actually out, PAL. This next one, again, I've had this ages. I can't remember if it was a deer game. I don't think it was a deer game. We've got the Namco 50th anniversary disc on the PS2, which is basically a collection of 5 PS1 games. I'm not sure if they're remastered in any way. I don't think they are. I only tried. I tried Ridge Racer. So it's got Ridge Racer, Tekken, Ace Combat 2, Mr. Driller, and Klonoa. Nice little collection, really. And it's in beautiful condition, this one. I'm fairly certain this is a Jap exclusive. But 5 great PS1 games. I think they are just sort of ports. I don't think they're enhanced from what I saw on Bridge Racer, but nice little collection to have anyway. Then we've got last two on the PS2. We've got, I might as well show these two together, and we've got, get them the right way around, we've got Shikigami no Shiro 1 and 2. I'd previously bought this for the Xbox, and yeah, which was that one. I previously bought the Xbox version, which is a Jap exclusive on Xbox. This is the one that's got loads of names and different names on PAL. I can't think what it is. Castle of Shikigami. That crazy. The first one's called Mobile Light Force, and one's called Castle of Shikigami or something. Anyway, two nice shooters. Nice to get the set on PS2. I was looking for the Xbox second one really, but then I stumbled across these two. I think these two were less than the sequel on the Xbox was, so I just got these two. So really chuffed to have them. Don't think it's the greatest shooter in the world, but it's reasonably good, I think. So I'm chuffed to have those. I still need the third one on the 360, so that's kind of on my list really in the future, hopefully. We've got one PS1 game now, and we've got, love these games, and we've got Densha to Go too. Way back when, I've got this on the N64 and the Saturn, and I've got the proper controller for the Saturn, but there are more versions on the PlayStation. I mean, I'd ideally like the controller for the PlayStation. You don't need it, the pad works absolutely fine, but it's just a cool item. Anyway, so we've got Densha to Go 2, because it was only the original on the Saturn and the N64 that I've got. I mean, what can you say? It's driving a train and getting them from point A to point B on time and in the speed limits, and stopping them in the right position on the platform, you know, under precise, like, Japanese timetable rules, because you know, obviously well known, the trains in Japan are like uber efficient, and it's your job to sort of drive the train under those circumstances. I just love this game. There's quite a few on the PS2 as well, none of which I've got. None of them are cheap, unfortunately. And there's also ones on the PS3, and you know, you can still get them on the Switch, but none of them seem cheap. And aside from these originals on the PS1, this is dirt cheap. I'd love the later versions, especially the PS3, and sort of, I don't know, I'm not so bothered about the Switch really, but I really would like the PS3 one, the Rail Fan it's called, or one of them is. Really not cheap games, but hopefully one day. Right, we've then got a PC Engine game. Now, I've not tried this. Again, I've had it months, but just have not had any time to play anything. This, you know, construction work, it just takes up all your spare time. It's crazy. Aside from a couple of quick blasts on Outrun, I haven't literally played anything. Anyway, we've got Eldis on the PC Engine CD. This is just a basic normal CD-ROM game. It's a horizontal shooter. Like I say, I've not tried it. I do remember watching footage before I bought it and thinking it looked okay, but not spectacular. So I don't know. I don't think it's a groundbreaker, but it's nice to have. I'd like a few more on the PC Engine, but none of them particularly cheap, really. So I'll just pick them up now and then when I see them for a reasonable price, and I just stumbled across that one and thought, yes, I'm happy with that. I'll go for it. Right, 3 left. and we've got a Super Nintendo next. I have been trying to increase my Super Famicom lately, and well, a few months, well, the past 2 or 3 months perhaps. Just trying to reacquire stuff I've had in the past and got rid of stupidly. And I was looking for this game, and it's not generally by Super Famicom, even though I have got some American games as well. But I was looking for this game predominantly on Japanese, and I just stumbled across the US version for what I thought was a really good price. So I decided, rather than pay the Super Famicom price, I'll get the American one. And we've got Cybernator. It's not the best box in the world, I've got to say, but I've done a tutti, given it an iron, put it in a box protector. Not too bad. I'm quite happy with it. Not a particularly cheap game generally. I don't know what the PAL one goes for. It's one of the silver box games in it. But it can be quite pricey on Japanese. I think it's around 100 quid if I remember right. It's called Assault Suits Vulcan Japanese. I'm yet to play this again since, I mean, I've played it way back when, but I've yet to play it since I bought this. But yeah, it's obviously side-scrolling mech kind of run and gun stroke action game. Really good as I remember. So I'm chuffed to get that really. I can't remember the last time I bought a US, or certainly a CIB US Super Nintendo game. Like I say, I don't tend to look for them now. It's just I stumbled across this and thought, why not? That's Cybernator. Right, 2 Mega Drive games to end, and again I've had these months. I can't remember if they were dear or expensive. I think they were cheap because I wouldn't have bought them otherwise. And obviously I've been buying a few shooters on the Mega Drive, and this is kind of, I found this when I was looking for shooters because it kind of is a shooter. And we've got Final Zone 2. It's not, the cover's a bit, it's slightly, I think it's been damp and it's slightly like wavy. I haven't tried ironing it, I might do. Aside from that, it's not too bad. It is complete. Like I say, I'm going to try and iron this, I think. But anyway, Final Zone. It's kind of, it's not a traditional shooter in the sense of a scrolling shooter. It's kind of a maze-like game in an isometric viewpoint, and you're controlling like a big mech, and you're running around the level to clear all the bad guys and get to the end. Really quite good. It's quite slow and ponderous, but I quite like that. Kind of like Granada, but in a 3D isometric viewpoint. I think it's really quite good. And then the last one we've got, never thought I'd get this one, to be honest, because it can be quite pricey, and it's not got a particularly good reputation, so it's not the kind of thing you want to pay a lot for, or the going rate for, to get it. However, I stumbled across this, and the guy had listed it as boxed. I forget now, he'd listed it weirdly. It was a strange title. It gave you the impression that there was no manual, and I don't think it sold for what it should have sold for. Anyway, we've got Super Airwolf. I really quite like the box. It's one of these with a sort of full sort of image across the entire box, really. It's in lovely condition. I don't know, he's done himself out of some money here really, because it's in quite nice nick. But yeah, the American version's called Crossfire, and it hasn't got the Airwolf license, so it hasn't got the Airwolf music, which this has. Not the greatest game in the world, I've got to say, but I really quite like it all the same. It's kind of a shoot in 3 sections. You get like a traditional style shooter, then you get more of a zoomed in with a much larger helicopter section, and then you get like an on foot section. By no means brilliant, but I do think it's quite nice, and like I say, I'm chuffed to have it, because I never thought, I was certainly never going to pay the going rate to get it, but when I got this cheap, happy days. There we go. Hope you enjoyed that. Let us know in the comments what you think. Thanks for watching. Sayonara.